So a non-renewable resource is just easily enough to say natural gas and oil. Those will run out. We have a limited supply of them in the earth, and then they are gone.
Can you explain what renewable resources are and how they work?
Renewable resources are things that are just there and always there. So the wind is a renewable resource, solar is a renewable resource. I really like the idea of ocean movement as a renewable resource because those happen regardless of whether we're there or not. You have wind, you have sunshine, and you have the waves. Mm-hmm. Those are resources that are just always there.
What is a carbon footprint?
Carbon footprint is how much carbon emissions does a person or a company create, and there's a way that you can calculate it. I don't know how, but there's a way that you can calculate it, and you have to kind of understand how much, like everything that you do, how much carbon is released into the atmosphere with what you do or how you live, and what do you do to mitigate that.
Mm-hmm. Explain what you know about the recycling process.
The recycling process, I don't know a lot. I do know that it is gathered from different places, homes, businesses, or whatever, and they take it to be processed into something else. I do know that paper, I think, is easier to recycle than plastics. I do know that it's an expensive process. So it's not as common as we would like it to be, or that they want us to think it is. So I don't know a whole bunch about it.
Where does your recycling go?
My recycling gets picked up by the city of Georgetown, and I know they have a facility that they take it to for sorting, but then beyond that, I don't know where it goes.
Mm-hmm. Have you heard about the Paris Agreement? What do you know about it?
I have not heard about the Paris Agreement. I don't know anything about it.
What do you know about CO2 levels?
All I know is I do believe CO2 levels are increasing, and that's why your carbon footprint is important, but that could be completely wrong.
How much longer do you think we have before we reach unsustainable levels of CO2?
No idea.
What's one thing you could do right now to have a sustainable impact on the planet?
Just little things, like I said, trying to do my own recycling, trying to buy things that are in recycled packaging. I try not to use disposable plastic bags. I use, containers that I use and reuse and reuse. I reuse a lot of things. I'm not as convinced that electric cars are the way to go because you have to, anyway, there's a whole big argument there. So I'm not sure that that's sustainable per se. Your car itself puts off less emissions, but building that car might create more emissions. That battery, to dispose of it, or that sort of thing. And if that car is in an accident, nobody really knows how to fix it safely, and so you just buy a new car, whereas I would just fix my car. So there, pros and cons there, not sure, but recycling and cutting back on disposable things and driving less, if possible. So, but I live in Texas, so that's kind of hard.
And then this last question is just for me, for fun.
Mm-hmm.
How big of a difference do you think there would be in your answers if I had conducted this interview before Will and I became interested in the environment?
It actually wouldn't have been that different, because before even you guys were interested in the environment, I have been interested in the environment because I want you guys to have a cool place to live. And it bothers me. I already knew about the glaciers melting, and I already would have discussions with other folks about, are we causing it or are we just exacerbating it? So these are things that I already knew, and I wanted recycling here in my community. And I have a feeling that some of those things that were important to me, and then teaching both of you to enjoy the outdoors and appreciate the earth that we're given is part of the reason why you're both
really
so
fosters
interested
that.
in the environment and how to make it and how to sustain our
I know
our
we
world.
yap about this a lot.
We do, and I think I think it was something. Well, I mean, all of our vacations were outdoor national parks. I
Yeah, they
mean,
were.
literally, we went to Disney
Once.
and we were like, "Yay! Don't need to do this again."
Yeah.
We prefer to go out and enjoy the natural world, and so because of that, we want to keep the natural world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important because that's what we like to do, that we take care of it.
Yeah.
And so I think I think you guys made me more aware of the academic end of it, but I think I made you guys aware of it in the first place.
I agree with that. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.